when you make a film for a studio, they always say at some point in the life of the movie, what film is this like? What is the tone of this movie? Name another movie that has a similar tone. And no matter what you say, they'll say, oh, maybe something with a bit more fun. We need a bit more fun than that. And you name another movie and they say it has to be, but it also has to be serious. And you name another film and they say like, if it's got to appeal to boys, and you name something else and they say, yeah, but it's got to be romantic. And I've just learned over time that whenever anyone asks that question, you just say it's like Empire Strikes Back. The tone is Empire Strikes Back, because everyone just shuts up and goes, great. I think one of my favorite shots in the film, there's so many, but I think one of my favorites is during the AT-AT attack. And it's the first time you ever see them. The guys are in the trenches in the snow, and then suddenly you get a hint of something coming, and it cuts to that shot. And there's these tiny little AT-ATs, and they're just walking on the horizon, and you can hardly make them out. And the guy puts the binoculars on, and then suddenly you see the feet, and he looks up. That shot where it's wide, and you see them in the distance, like, I always loved that shot. I always loved the amount of detail in the animation, the way they walked and everything. And then when we got to do Rogue One, we were allowed to obviously go to the archives and see the original. They have the original matte painting there of those AT-ATs. And they got it out, and I looked, and there was like 5 little brush strokes, where the AT-ATs would be. And I remember saying to the person, well, did they composite over the top, the animation and stuff? And they were like, no, that's the shot. You go, no, but they were animated. There was like little tiny figures moving, and they were like, no, that's it. And I went straight home and put on the Blu-ray and watched it, and they were right. They don't even move. They're not even AT-ATs. They're just little lines. But your brain, with all the sound design and everything else that's going on, like, invents all that stuff. I mean, that's kind of the magic of the original trilogy. Even the music is incredible. Like, John Williams probably wrote one of the greatest soundtracks ever for A New Hope, the original Star Wars film. And he could have just been lazy with Empire Strikes Back, and he could have just done a greatest hits of everything we heard from the original, and everyone would have been very happy. And I remember always being thrown as a kid, I can't remember when, but my mind was blown when someone pointed out that da 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 is not in Star Wars. It's not in A New Hope. It's not in the original film. That was completely invented for Empire Strikes Back. But it seems so perfect. It's like your brain has reverse engineered that it wasn't. No, that was in Star Wars. I've heard that before. It's just incredible. I'm sorry, Chinatown. I'm sorry, The Sixth Sense. And this is a spoiler alert in case for some reason you haven't seen this film. Empire Strikes Back has the greatest twist in the history of cinema. Full stop. I actually think if you were a lawyer and you had to argue in a court of law that Empire Strikes Back was the greatest movie ever made, you'd probably win. And if you didn't win, you would at least get the judge to agree that it is the greatest sequel in the history of cinema.